I'd like to welcome to the stage Napoleon Biggs from Web Wednesday, and he's going to be doing a chat with Lindsay Jang from Sunday Spirits. So Napoleon and Lindsay, why don't you come on up here and take these seats here in the middle. Thank you very much.
Hello. Good evening. Oh, Jesus. We've just had a few drinks, so we're already, what's the word, spinning, glowing. We're actually not here to talk about technology, as you will discover. This lovely lady next to me here, Lindsay, comes from the F&B health and wellness side of the world, but you'll learn as we talk over 15 minutes, I think we've got, at most, where technology comes into it. So how many of you in here have been to Yardbird? That's about
What are the rest of you doing?
13.2%. I'm good at maths. How many of you have been to Ronan? Not the same people. Less. How many of you like yakitori? How many of you like sake? How many of you like whiskey? End of conversation.
I'm at the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place. How many of you have spare money to invest in a really clever idea that has nothing to do with technology? No hands have gone up. One. So Lindsay, let's talk about you. You're originally from where?
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. The prairies. Outside Edmonton.
But you're cool, right? So is it cool Canada, or was it cool when you came here? You became cool.
Oh, what do you mean?
You were a redneck who came to Hong Kong. You got into yoga, right? And you pierced your nose.
Yes. No, yoga I found in Calgary, actually.
You found it in Calgary.
Yes. I used to snowboard competitively there.
Nice.
I don't know. I was always different.
So
I was like very, there were no Asian people where I grew up, let's say that.
So you're already automatically different.
Automatically different, yes.
So tell us, why open a restaurant in Hong Kong? Isn't that what rich bankers do when they have nothing else to do?
That was my other option.
That was the other option, to be a rich banker.
Yes. I ended up here serendipitously through my business partner got a job in London, and then they moved us to Hong Kong, and we ended up staying here. That was right after we left New York in 2008 when everything burst and everything sucked. And then when we ended up in Hong Kong, it didn't seem so bad, actually. And then, I don't know, the space found us, an investor found us, and we were trying to get back to Canada, actually, and everything kept pointing towards staying here. And I'm glad we did.
So you came up with the idea of Yardbird, just you thought yakitori, missing in Hong Kong?
No, the business plan was written for Vancouver.
Okay.
Yakitori came from our days off working in New York, eating yakitori. So we just basically put our skill set together and just changed the format of what kind of food we wanted to serve. And then that's how it was.
But this was before the days of social media really kicked off, right? Or was it just as?
No, there was no. This was like, I wrote the business plan in 2009.
Yeah.
And I think my Instagram account started in 2011.
Okay, so off the back of Yardbird, which is kind of quite a cult in Hong Kong, right? You don't just sell food, you also sell...
I like to think it's the experience.
Okay.
I think the food is high quality, the beverage is high quality, the service is great, but you also really feel like you're at a house party. People remember you. It's comfortable. It's a good place to entertain. You can go there by yourself. You can go there with 20 people. It's a very family vibe.
So I have a theory that because of these things, we've got so tired of digital experiences that we just want really human experiences. So you're tapping into that with what you're doing with Yardbird. What then led you to do the next thing? After Yardbird, it was...
Ronan?
Yeah.
I think it was just, to be honest, Ronan was not a success in the beginning. Because I think we were overzealous and maybe even arrogant about being able to pull something off. And I didn't write a business plan.
You thought you had the Midas touch because you'd done so well with Yardbird.
Yeah, I think we just didn't plan it the same way we planned Yardbird. So
But Yardbird was unplanned.
No, Yardbird was so planned.
Oh, so
Like
planned.
down to the music we were going to play. If I read the
The
business
attitude
plan,
of the waiters. and
everything.
Everything. Okay.
Like everything. Every last detail is exactly what I wrote in 2009. Ronan did not have that planning, and it took a little bit longer to figure it out. And obviously now it's sort of got its legs, and it's doing really, really well. But we've always been lucky to have a good partner and a good landlord in that space.
So you've got Yardbird, which is the party kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
What is the atmosphere in Ronan? What's the experience at Ronan?
It's so different. It's only 14 seats, and it's one long bar, and it's this massive whiskey library, and it's market fresh. Like all the menu is influenced by a daily market find. It's very special, but the service is still very friendly.
Okay, so then you
it's
get
more
into, so
upscale.
you do that and you go, okay, I've got, market fresh, let's launch a website selling market fresh food. Is that where Sundays?
No, Sunday's Grocery was actually, it was like our version of a New York bodega. And then
Okay.
we opened it in Kennedy Town. And it was Sundays because of this big legal battle, which I'm not going to waste our time talking about.
You mean other people own Saturday and Friday and Wednesday?
No, it was
Belongs to me,
Yardbird.
that one.
Yeah. You should try and register that.
Yeah.
No, so Sundays was born. We opened in Kennedy Town. That was selling sandwiches and alcohol. Then that also had an e-commerce platform to it. And then,
And you were selling your own products on e-commerce.
yeah, and others. It was multi-brand and private label.
So you were doing the new retail before Jack Ma named it new retail.
Yeah.
You were selling
That was me.
online, and that was you. Offline.
Yeah.
Your lawyer's here, right?
Yeah, he's right there.
Then where? Okay, so he can sue Jack Ma later.
Yeah.
So tell us about the kind of technology side. We were talking about it earlier. I know it's a very offline business mostly.
Yeah.
But what have you done? How have you seen technology help you grow what you're doing
I
in
think
terms of experience or distribution?
just definitely through digital communication. I
Yep.
mean, we only have 2 brick and mortar spaces with a total of, let's say, 6,500 square feet in Hong Kong. But our reach, the opportunities we've had are global, and that's all through social media and content creation, really. I mean, we have people travel here to eat there, or, it seems it's a destination, or we get, invited to do events all over the world based on, obviously based on the quality and, Matt being a professional chef. But I think also now everyone wants to just collaborate, regardless of industry. Everyone's trying to do a collaboration because you're just amplifying your audience, depending on.
So you've tapped into that because you're smart enough to go, right, what's hot now? Sake, whiskey, right? So I was at an art gallery the other day, and somebody said to me, don't buy art, buy whiskey.
Yeah, people are starting funds to
buy whiskey.
to hoard Japanese
All the money they could put into crypto, they're now putting into
or both.
whiskey.io.
Diversify.
Diversify.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this, the idea of going into the whiskey business and why you would do that, apart from wanting to make money.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible.
I mean, I think if you look at the spirit landscape now, with obviously everyone is trying to be George Clooney and Randy Gerber and sell at $1 billion. But even last few
Who
days
do they
ago-
sell to? Do you know?
Diageo.
Diageo.
And so last week, Diageo also sold 15 of their lowest performing SKUs to another company for like $550 million, based on the fact that they wanted to look at growth and not profitability. So people are drinking less now, I'm pretty sure, because of marijuana becoming legal. But people
Is that true? The drinkers in the room?
No, I mean,
Anson?
especially in
Anson?
Canada.
Where's Anson? Are you drinking less because of marijuana? You're still drinking? Yeah, it shows.
Both.
He needs to start smoking marijuana, mate. It's like, yes, Karen. It makes you hungry.
It's a
Especially
win-win.
yakitori. Yeah.
I need to be also making cannabis
Okay.
when it becomes legal. So, yeah, and now the people who are still drinking are preferring something of like a higher quality. So basically, Diageo saw this, with Casamigos, and then decided to sell off some of their lower quality brands to invest in the growth of a higher quality product. And so I think for Sunday Spirits, the fact that we have access to Japanese whiskey, true Japanese whiskey.
So you source it yourself directly. You have your own
We work with a
distillery.
distillery
Okay.
that's 253 years old. It's always been a family-run distillery. We're literally the only non-Japanese people that they've ever worked with, and that are putting out a Japanese whiskey product for global distribution. There are other Japanese whiskeys on the market, but they're not.
I heard they're all shutting down.
Some, I mean, slowly but surely, I
Yeah.
think a lot of them are closing.
Yeah.
People, Japanese don't necessarily want to just sell it to somebody else. If their family doesn't want to run it anymore, or, there's no heritage left in it, they just close.
So you come up, okay, whiskey's hot, and then what special spin are you going to put to it? You're given all your learnings about offline and online.
What we like to
Distribution,
do with
marketing.
product is make it a gateway to more like a higher, more expensive product. So ours is always very approachable, English on the label. You can go in and you don't feel, you know how to order it.
Okay.
Like there's no pretense.
So there's some money people in the room. Only that guy put his hand up who was interested in non-tech stuff. So you're here, you're raising money, right?
I am.
How much?
About 1.5 million US
Only?
right
Oh,
now.
Yeah, small.
I'm starting small.
So what are you going to do with that money?
That will go into.
You've got a product, right?
Yeah.
And you've got customers. You've got people buying it.
Yes.
You've gone past the proof of concept traction thing that venture capitalists like.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're lucky that we have an infrastructure in place.
Okay.
We have a
So it's
supply
about the brand of, what's the brand that what's it called?
Sunday's Spirits. Sunday's Whiskey.
Sunday's Whiskey.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Lindsay Jang.
No.
Just Sunday's
My
Whiskey.
team. It's
Your
not
team.
about me. Yeah.
Not about you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay,
I
sorry.
think we run out of time. But can I just point them somewhere? Lindsay has to leave. So can you just tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can email me at jang.lindsay@gmail.
Lindsay with an A.
Or you can look at Yardbird on social, Ronan. It's very easy to find me.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.